Hey guys, this is Camfrey15, joined by a unlikely co-host of mine. If you watch my college football weekly recaps, he's on there and he's here to talk Chicago Bears football, even though he's a Patriots fan. That I know he's happy that the Patriots defense intercepted Zach Wilson 4 times today. Um, Zach Wilson so far is looking like maybe he should have not been the number 2 overall pick.
Probably maybe not even the first round.
Yeah. But anyways, we're not gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about because this is the Chicago Bears game recap and the Bears. Now I'm doing this. Now I thought I would do live streams, but I'm probably gonna change this. How my video is gonna be going, I'm gonna record my stuff and it's gonna go up as a premiere video. Also, anyways, we're gonna talk about the Bears and hopefully I can have enough time to talk about so we can get out of here so then I can go start my damn homework because I got homework I have to do. But the Chicago Bears escape the damn Cincinnati Bengals by the score 20-17. Again, what did I fucking say? This team sucks. We just barely escaped when a game that honestly should have been a flat out blowout. But, this team finds ways to beat itself. Now, obviously, the main topic point, which has been the number one thing in national media headlights, and what's going to be the same thing coming out big, is obviously the fact that Justin Fields came in for Andy Dalton that got hurt. Now, listen, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Listen, my thoughts on Andy Dalton. Not Andy Dalton. Justin Fields' performance is this. I thought he played decent enough to win. Yes, were the mistakes clearly there? Yes. The fumble. Yes, that was bad. Hey, and when he picked up that first down in the game, the number one thing they showed on the replay is when he was rolling up in the pocket, he put the ball with both hands on it. So he learned from that. He had 2 very bad false starts where I don't know what the hell was going on there. I think he wanted the center to snap the damn ball, which I'm calling that more in the center than him. But at the same time, you still can't move before the ball is snapped. And then obviously the pick that made this game a lot closer than it already was. In my opinion, yes, it was a bad pick, but I think he just didn't see the guy at the moment. He thought Goodwin was going to be over the flats, and there was a linebacker that was pretending that he was blitzing, and then he just went back in coverage. Good play by the linebacker to be aware, and Justin Fields just didn't see that. I think Justin Fields, in my honest opinion, rushed that throw. But other than that, I thought Justin Fields played a thing. Now, we'll get into Justin Fields in a bit, but how would I say the character of this freaking game is? Well, listen, I'm just going to say this. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Bears still suck, and they just escaped beating a very bad Cincinnati Bengals team. When you have penalties that cost you over and over and over again, which the Bengals did not take advantage of, no clue why, it puts you behind the 8 ball. Again, this team does not have enough talent to be able to overcome silly penalties. Now, the defense played, I would say, a better game. Now, they started to almost show signs of UCLA, because that's my college team from last night, which I still have not recovered from. I was like, okay, what's going on here? And then things like that. So, yeah. And then offensive scheme-wise, I still am not impressed with Matt Nagy's offensive scheme. It still sucks. Anyways, that was my opening monologue. Your thoughts on the game since you watched it.
Yeah. I actually watched every play of the game just to make sure I could make this video. And I thought Andy Dalton played really well when he was in the game. And I'm not gonna say Justin Fields played like trash, but he had a QBR, I believe, of 27. Which is not good at all, which is actually very, very bad. But I don't see why so many Bears fans hate Dalton. I just don't get it. He was 9 of 11, 56 yards, touchdown, didn't turn the ball over. He also had 2 carries for 25 yards. But I also not getting or to get off the offensive side of the ball topic. I think the defense played very, very well for the Bears. And that's a very good sign after last week when I thought the Rams offense torched the Bears.
Yeah. Now, the reason why, to answer your question from the outside NFL Chicago Bears perspective, the reason why I don't think Bear fans hate Andy Dalton. I think we just know, oh, Andy Dalton's just an average quarterback, and we don't want average. Average quarterbacks are guys like, I don't know, Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles, Chase Daniels, frickin' Jason Campbell. Yeah, he was one of our quarterbacks. Kyle Orton, Rex Grossman.
Rex Grossman is trash. Jason Campbell is trash. They are not average.
It doesn't matter. We've seen we've had dealt with this whole thing. The reason why we've been clamoring, Bear fans have been clamoring for Justin Fields just to start. We know that Justin Fields is the better player. And then two, when the defense went on the roll where they were picking Joe Burrow off like, god dang, like straight up chickens, you know, pick after pick after pick after pick. Something I saw, and I tweeted this out. If you can go to my Twitter. I tweeted out, the Bears defense, since Justin Fields came in, oh, wait, it's playing with a little bit more energy with Justin Fields in the game compared to Andy Dalton. I'm not trying to say that Andy Dalton isn't a leader and doesn't help this team get up. But if you ask me, I don't know if I'd get up more for freaking Andy Dalton or Justin Fields. I probably would get up more to play for Justin Fields than Andy Dalton ever.
I mean, that might be any young quarterback going in the game, honestly, for a struggling franchise.
Well, regardless, it does.
And I'm not denying that either. I'm not saying that because I do believe that a quarterback can change how a whole team plays. Defense, offense, special teams, I do believe just the energy. And I do believe it does change and people do change. And when maybe Justin Fields is in, maybe players have more confidence. And when you have confidence, you play so much better on the field. So maybe that's what it is. But I don't think Andy Dalton played bad at all. And if anything, I do think Andy Dalton played better than Justin Fields today.
No, that's your opinion, not mine.
That's not my opinion. That's it. That's all.
I don't care. I'll take whatever freaking Justin Fields is doing up on the field other than Andy Dalton stinging up on the field because I know he's just going to learn from it. Anyways, how we're going to break this thing down, like I said, like I did last week, is I'm going to talk about obviously the phases, which is obviously split into offense, defense, yada, yada, yada. I think we're going to start off with defense since I personally think that defense up until really the near tail end of the game played better than the offense really all game. And again, I guess you can say this is another case where the defense actually picks up his slack where the offense can't freaking do it. Again, this is why I said this game should have been a blowout. For the longest time in this game, this was a 7-0 game going into halftime. Which goes to show you that Matt Nagy's offensive scheme utterly sucks, like I've been saying it does. And now that Justin Fields is in, he's exposing that scheme. Please do it so then we can fire this guy and get him out of office. Anyways, we're going to start off with the defense. Now, the defense, obviously coming off the embarrassment of a freaking loss against the Rams on prime time, because we can't freaking do anything better on prime time but stink up the joint and waste everybody's 3 hours watching us. So, obviously, throughout the week, there was high criticism of the Chicago Bears defense. Eddie Jackson was, missing tackles because he is a coward. At least he stepped up somewhat in this game, but then he had to just, I don't know, help his corner over top and stop Jamar Chase from just getting a walk-in touchdown, which he did miss a tackle on too. Don't think I missed that. The Bears defensive line got absolutely no pressure, and obviously the defensive secondary got carved up. Now, I will say this. Two of the three things I mentioned played a lot better, and that's the defensive line and Eddie Jackson. Secondary played still like hot trash, other than Jalen Johnson, who seems like he's going to probably be our lockdown corner, and I like that. I like that a lot. And so props to Jalen Johnson getting his first pick as well. Again, I love what I'm seeing out of Jalen Johnson from Utah. Literally, I think he's the best corner on the team because you can literally see that no team wants to throw his way at all. He made nice pass breakups, like one very fade deep route on T. Higgins that he broke up that pass attempt. He had a great pick. And I think he's just good on that. So he's solidified himself to the point he could be a potential lockdown corner. Now, as for the other secondary members like Kendall Vildor, Duke Shelley, you guys just love eating toast, huh? Because that's how you guys served up breakfast, getting burnt for toast. What were your thoughts on the Bears secondary? Do you think they were played better than they did last week, or did they still somewhat have the troubles?
I do think they played better than they did last week. Granted, they played Matt Stafford and the Rams, who actually had trouble against the Colts today, but that's beside the point. But I do think they played better, but there still is improvement. But I've heard you talk about the Bears secondary now for probably 4 to 5 years. And you've never been impressed, but I will say, I do think this is one of the, like I said, 4 to 5 years. This is one of the best the Bears secondary has played. Okay, I shouldn't say game-wise, but it was one of the best secondary has looked, I'd say. In the past 4 to 5 years, honestly, 3 interceptions, that looks good, granted.
There's only one interception was off one of our defensive backs, then a linebacker, then a defensive lineman.
I know. Granted, like I said, and that deep ball to Jamar Chase, that's a fixable mistake.
That's fixable on Eddie Jackson for being over the top.
Yeah, but I think it's a very, very fixable mistake. And like I said, I've listened to you harp on the Bears secondary for the past 4 to 5 years now, and I do think this is probably the best position they have in this, or best position they can be in the secondary for the season and future.
I think you're lying, but okay. Remember,
but
guys,
you are so harsh on the Bears, so it's never.
I am harsh on the Bears because
harsh on the Bears, so I'm like that sympathetic parent, you know.
I'm harsh on the Bears because I'm tired of seeing mediocrity for the past 3 years. That's how sick and tired I am of this team, and I'm sick and tired of freaking head coaches not holding players accountable for hitting quarterbacks out of bounds when they're clearly out of bounds, and then taunting fucking players in the face.
When you just kind of leaned into him, gave him a little shoulder kind of shove.
Yes.
Oh, you have a microphone now. It's cool. That's good.
Yes, I got it in the mail. Forgot to mention that. I debated in one of my videos last night.
But yes, I saw that hit out of bounds. That he knew what he was doing too. And Joe Burrow also gets an Oscar for the sell act.
Listen, other than that, secondary wise, listen, I think now a way to beat this Bears team is if they're not getting pressure. The one thing I saw is that opponents, this is back-to-back weeks, that the opponents are targeting the nickel spot. Last week was Marquis Christian, and he just got torched alive. And guess what? He rightfully got benched for his actions. Duke Shelley did no better. So that nickel back position, ever since we lost, I forgot, the Bryce Callahan, when he left to go to the Broncos, it has not been good. The nickel cornerback stuff sucks. They either need to fix that now or they need to do a better job, who's ever there. Again, the opposing corner, all right, Kendall Vildor played a decent game, but
he
nothing.
Had 4 tackles, Vildor.
I wasn't really impressed because that still felt like he was getting carved up. Jalen Johnson was probably the best DB on the field. Sean Gibson, I thought he was fine for what it was, other than the stupid taunting penalty. And I know the taunting rules in NFL are so BS now, but you should know, do not clap up and do not stand over a player because that's going to happen. Now, thankfully, the Bengals didn't score a TD because I thought they were going to get some points out of that. But it was like, I think one of the 2 times when the Bears had a clear stop in this game on defense, and they gave up a dumb BS penalty because they get in their own way. And their stupid head coach condones that action because he doesn't hold his players accountable like he holds his own self accountable. He doesn't do that. So that's why you saw guys like Sean Gibson causing taunting penalties and freaking Robert Quinn doing an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty right there because they're undisciplined. Where I'm also lucky that Akeem Hicks, he didn't freaking get a roughing the passer I forgot it was on one play, but it was one. I think it was on the one play when it was a incomplete pass to T. Higgins on that fade where Jalen Johnson covered him. Freaking Akeem Hicks slams damn near Joe Burrow to the ground. Refs don't call a roughing the passer. I'll take it, but how many times do I have to see Akeem Hicks damn near almost slamming a quarterback to the ground? And 9 out of 10 times, it's usually a roughing the passer. This team's undisciplined on defense. Eddie Jackson, after everybody in Chicago media, the radio, and everybody who's been calling out for Eddie Jackson to be that 2018 Eddie Jackson we once saw, I thought he played a better game. Now, he did have a slip up that I would probably, take his A+ day down to a B+ day today for him, because he obviously should have been over the top on top of Jamar Chase. Hell, if that's the case, you have Jamar Chase catch the ball, but you need to make the tackle so he doesn't walk into the end zone. Again, I don't know what's up with Eddie Jackson not wanting to lay the hit stick down or not wanting to hit somebody. I don't know. But he played a better game. He had a great tackle to stop Joe Mixon from getting the first down, and I thought he played a good game. He rebounded from the slander he got. Now let's keep it up, Eddie Jackson. Otherwise, I'm going to keep calling you a coward. Or if you watched one of my Bears video, I called him a itch. I'm going to not say the word, but if you watch that video, you know what I called him, and I called his ass out. Defensive line-wise, it was great to see a Robert Quinn sighting for the right and wrong reasons. It was great that he's got a sack and he got pressure on Joe Burrow, so hopefully that's good. As well as Khalil Mack making a nice appearance too. He had a sack today, so that's great. Hopefully he can have more sacks as the weeks progress. Next week going into Cleveland. But again, like I said, Robert Quinn, for some dumb reason in the third quarter, we get a chance to get off the field, get a 3-and-out, and then he stupidly bumps into Joe Burrow. Now, yes, Joe Burrow sold it, but at the end of the day, he was going out of bounds. Don't do that. That ended up giving the Cincinnati Bengals 3 points out of it, which should have never happened. Your thoughts on the D-line and how they played?
I mean, another D-line, granted, the Bengals they ran the ball 20 times total. It was with Joe Mixon every time they ran the ball. And he had 69 yards, 0 touchdowns, which I think is pretty good. If you see, Roquan Smith led the team with 8 total tackles.
Well, he's a linebacker. We'll get to the linebacker section now.
But what I was getting at is he also had a sack and a tackle for loss. And like I said, and a touchdown, which was on the interception. So I think he's also I'm more talking about the run defense, I guess I should say more.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So I thought he played well. And then Robert Quinn, also, he had 3 tackles total. He registered a sack, and he had 2 tackles for loss. So I think that's big. He only really messed up on that penalty, so I do think the Bears' D-line, rush defense particularly, played well, and they pressured Joe Burrow, which was good, and it was good to see Khalil Mack get that sack. Granted, he only had 2 total tackles, but
it's better than last week when he was a no-show. I'll tell you that.
What?
I said it's better. It's better he showed up. I actually see good, at least somewhat stat line wise compared to last week where he only had just like bare bone stats.
But I noticed he was on the sideline a lot too.
Probably for rest purposes.
I saw him a lot personally.
As long as he's on the big downs, like a first or third down when we need stops, I'm fine with that. Khalil Mack.
Okay, I don't know if he had an underlying injury that I didn't know about or something or.
No, now they say he has a lingering groin issue, but I think he just plays through it. So it is what it is. It's football. I thought Khalil Mack played a much better game than he did against the Rams, where he was a complete no-show. He was actually doing stuff. And again, and this is what I clamored for this last week, and I'm going to continue to say it. I need Khalil Mack not to be the 2018 Khalil Mack he was when he was literally pushing offensive linemen down with one hand. I just need him to have some sort of impact in the game, whether it's QB hurries, a sack, something. I can't just have the announcer say, you know what, where's been Khalil Mack this game? I haven't heard one thing of him yet, because that means he's not doing that, which means he's not living up to what we're paying him. I'm sick and tired of this. I've bailed out Khalil Mack how many times the past 2 to 3 years since I started making Bears content on my channel. It's time to step up. You're going to say you want to be defensive player of the year. It's time we need to make the playoffs. Well, then I advise you step up and do your damn job. That goes for everybody else on the defense. That goes for Robert Quinn. He's making too much money. So I'm glad he had a sighting today. Let's hopefully see that trends upward going next week. Let's talk about the linebackers, which I thought was probably, well, I would say other than Jalen Johnson, probably the best player on the defense was probably Roquan Smith. And Roquan Smith continues to prove that he's one of the best linebackers in the league. And he still gets slept on. How he's not ranked in the top 100, no clue. You can look at all the nice young linebackers, and Roquan Smith should be up there. If not, you can make it a debatable case that Roquan Smith is one of the, if not the best linebacker in the game today. Now, again, like I said, that's a debatable topic. But Roquan Smith continues to be great. He had a sack today, a pick six, which, my God, I think at the time when the Bears needed a freaking turnover, a pick at least, especially some points, he made a very nice play on the ball. I don't know what Joe Burrow was looking at there. Now, when I kind of rewinded the play off our highlight, it seemed like he was going to throw to something in the middle of the field, but I'm guessing he didn't see that Roquan Smith was dropping out in coverage. Roquan Smith makes a great play, catches the ball, which for some reason the defensive players catch the ball better than the damn offensive receivers on my team. Good God. Which we'll get to that in a few seconds. So he made a great play. He managed to get a touchdown. I just thought Roquan Smith does what Roquan Smith does, just wreak havoc, and I enjoyed what I got from him. Alec Ogletree looked nice. He made a great tip-up pass to have Blackson intercept the pass off Joe Burrow. And yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, is a sack and a tackle for loss considered the same thing?
No, it's not.
Okay, so Roquan Smith, he had 8 total tackles. He had a sack. He had a tackle for loss. He had a pass deflection and a quarterback hit and a TD. So he registered every stat in the stat book on defense, which is huge for him. I think he had a great game. I wouldn't go as far as saying he's the best linebacker in the league, but he is definitely up there. He has impressed me big time watching him because, like I said, I've tried to watch I obviously get to see the Bears on Sunday Football, and I've been trying to watch them a lot, and he impressed me big time today. And then you go down to Alex Ogletree. He had 3 tackles. He also had a tackle for loss, and he also had a quarterback hit, which is big. And then their other linebacker that I saw was Christian Jones, and he registered 1 tackle. So I do think granted, Roquan Smith carried the load for the linebackers. I do think the linebackers played well overall.
Yeah, I do think, as we end the defensive segment, I do think the defense played much better up and really to the end when they were just letting. Now, that final drive where the Bengals scored the points to get 17 points, and before that, to get 10 points and then the 17 points, the defense needs to do a better job in actually creating resistance. I think especially more on the long drive, you knew the freaking Bengals need a touchdown. Listen, do not let anything get past you in the deep zone. I don't know why, but all in all, in my assessment of the defense this week compared to last week, I was much more pleased. Sean Desai, new defensive coordinator, showed to me, okay, you can step up and you can, I guess you can say, and the defense as a whole, come together after the criticism, which was rightly deserved in their face after a anemic, primetime performance, because the Bears, hallmark is on defense. I thought they did a rebounding. Now Next challenge up is the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if the Cleveland Browns beat the Texans today.
Yes, they did. Tyrod Taylor got hurt. He was 10-11 before he got hurt. He was playing great.
What was the score of that game?
The final score, let me check that real quick. I have it right here. It was 31-21, Browns.
Oh, well, you got another, I would say, somewhat high-power offense. Obviously, the main topic for next week's game for the defense is stopping Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and trying to make Baker Mayfield.
Only had 2 incompletions that whole game, so.
Well, the best thing you can do is try to force Baker Mayfield to be a passer and make him make mistakes. Now,
and Jarvis Landry was hurt too, and I know Odell didn't play, so Jarvis Landry got hurt, so that could be good for the Bears.
So the defense next week, they're going to have to key in on the run, and they're going to have to try to make Baker Mayfield be a passer. Because if you have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt running all over you, and then Baker Mayfield gets the play action pass started and he's dropping dimes on you, then you're really in trouble. So the Bears got another tough test next week against a playoffs caliber team in the Browns. So we'll see how they will give us a performance in that showtime against a quality team. Hopefully it doesn't have my blood boiling like it did week 1. Now, obviously, we come here for the main topic of this video is going to be the offense. And I thought the offense played all right. I'm being generous, to be honest. I could say they played like utter shit. But I'll say this. They deserve a nice C-. I'll just tell you this. The Bears offense, they managed to score more points than they did last week. Well, how many points did they score last week? I keep forgetting.
Let me check that real quick. I'll get that for you. Last week, the Bears scored 14 points.
14 points? Oh, so they scored less amount of points this week, only by 1 point. So essentially in that same 14 area range. In other words,
the Bears got 20, so they basically scored a whole nother touchdown.
I'm not counting the pick. I'm counting about the offensive points. Take out the pick 6. The Bears scored that 1 touchdown to Allen Robinson, then 2 field goals.
Pause the video. There's a bee in my room. Pause the video. There's a bee in my room.
Sorry for that. My co-host had to kill a bee, which was very entertaining to hear.
Yeah, on your part, maybe.
Yes. But anyways, as I was saying, the offense, they scored only 13 total points. So the touchdown to Allen Robinson on the first drive of the game, then a field goal, then another field goal, which I believe was after one of the interceptions we got. And total that all together, 7, 10, and then 13 points. So the offense still fails to score 20 points. At least can we score 20 points from the offensive side of the ball? Now, we would have probably had that if, I don't know, supposed wide receiver number 1 who's been clamoring for money, who's his agents literally making tweets counting down the fucking days to the end of the season, just lets a beautifully thrown ball by Justin Fields, mind you, go straight to his hands. Really? We're really going to do this, Allen Robinson? We're really going to do this. Beautiful thrown ball by Justin Fields would have let Soldier Field go fucking crazy. All he had to do was catch the ball, and he lets the ball go literally, not through his hands, through his fucking arms. That's why I always tell my receivers, because I coach, catch with your hands, not your body. Now, maybe adjustment-wise, he had to catch with his body. Do it to where you're not catching it, and it's letting it go right through your hands. Anyways, Matt Nagy's offensive scheme still sucks. It still fails to suck, and I still question Matt Nagy. What makes you an offensive genius that I don't know? Everybody knows that you're not an offensive genius. You're just a glorified QB coach who's in the position of being an offensive coordinator, quote unquote offensive coordinator. Again, I made this whole reference up. Matt Nagy sucks as a play caller. He should just give up the play calling right now and do us all a favor and just, I don't know, resign from his position. The 13 points against a very bad Bengals defense. That's not enough. That's not enough. If the anemic Kirk Cousins can put up around 20 points on these Bengals, then you could have did the same. But no, you can't. No, you can't. Because guess what? This man can't get out of his own way. One of the plays that took me earlier was like it was 2 minutes left in the first quarter. He calls a dumb timeout for no reason. Why are we wasting timeouts in the first quarter? No clue. And then you come out of that timeout and you get a false start. What are we doing? Like what? When Justin Fields is in. Mark Sanchez on the broadcast is saying, I think Justin Fields it would help Justin Fields if maybe you get play action pass started and you have him already on the run where he has the option to throw on the run or maybe even run. Did we see some of that play action? Yeah, a little bit, but not where he's rolling out of the pocket. Like, what are we doing? Again, I keep saying this and I'll say it again till this man is out of Chicago as Chicago Bears head coach. He does not coach players to adjust to their strengths and whatever they do. He just tells his players, run my scheme, and guess what? You're going to like it, whether you like it or not, and you're going to do it. This coach has no feel for the game of football. He has no feel for his players on offense whatsoever. Half of the time, I think Justin Fields made, and even Andy Dalton to an extent, made the play calling look better because he can't play call for shit. So Matt Nagy's typical rant, I'm done with. I'm going to give this rant every damn game recap because I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. He thinks he's a smart ass, and I tell my football players I hate smart asses. He thinks he's the smartest person in the world. I would show this cat up. Anyways, offensive reasoning behind, let's start out with the line. Now, the line, I thought they played solid enough last week. I thought the line played solid enough this week. Yes, they didn't give enough run blocking lanes, and they let their quarterbacks take some hits. But I thought they played all right for the most part, but they definitely can play better. Only other issue I see was the false, stupid starts. Again, stop moving. And then, again, I know 2 of the false starts was on Justin Fields, but I think from my vantage point, it was him trying to have this tell the center, yo, give me the ball. And our center, for some reason, wasn't snapping the ball. Now, I call that more on the center than Justin Fields, but at the same time, I will say Justin Fields should not be moving because that just hurts us. What were your thoughts on this offensive line play for this week for the Bears?
For the offensive line?
Yeah. And if you want to talk about Nagy's play calling, you can talk about that as well.
Well, yeah. I was very big on Dave Montgomery coming out of the draft back when he was drafted. So today he had 20 carries for 61 yards. Justin Fields had 10 for 31, and Dalton 2 for 25, and Damon Williams 2 for 6. I don't know if I would consider this on Montgomery, the line, or Nagy's play calling, or all three. But one thing I will suggest Nagy do is give maybe Damian Williams the ball a little more and mix it up a little bit. Because I feel like
sorry to cut you off. So you saw see the whole thing where Montgomery gets a positive gain and then he gets automatically taken off the field.
Well, no. I think that Damian Williams needs to carry the ball more. I think that I'm not saying Montgomery's carry should be getting cut, but I do think that Damian Williams should get the ball a little more. That's all I'm trying to say because I do think they are both different styles of backs, and I think that can help. Change of pace is big. But the line in Matt Nagy's play calling does not help out either running back or either quarterback. That's what I believe.
Your opinion, not mine, but all right. Yeah, listen, it's definitely not helping. Although,
what were you thinking on the running back?
In terms of running backs, Montgomery should get most of the carries. And honest to God, Damian Williams.
You agree with this, Colin?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, so you agree with Matt Nagy's play calling on the running back side of giving him the ball a bulk of the time?
I want most of a bulk of the time going to Montgomery. Damian Williams can get 10 handoffs, and after that, you're done. I want Montgomery to get 20 plus. I want Montgomery to get 30. I believe this team should be. I believe this team should be a power running team. I've said this, even with Justin Fields, you know, be a power running team, just strictly power running team, because it makes sense. It gets the offensive line already into that gritty attitude of, okay, hold on to our blocks and we're going to push you guys. We're going to kick the guy's ass in front of us. But we don't do that. We want to mix. It's some sort of BS mix up of some sort of Kansas City offense that we can't run here because we don't have that personnel. No clue. But obviously Matt Nagy's in his dreams thinking, oh my goodness, I can make the Chicago Bears the new Kansas City Chiefs. But listen, Montgomery, I thought he played solid. Definitely not as good as he was last week, but still. The one thing I keep loving about Montgomery is how the fact that he keeps fighting for every damn extra yard. Even if it's just 1 yard, he keeps fighting. You know, one of the best effort plays I liked is he gets essentially stuffed in the backfield, but you can see his feet are still moving and he's still trying to get some yardage. That's all it takes. Now, how Matt Nagy doesn't see that? No idea. Maybe you should stop doing that stupid zone read unless Justin Fields is in the fucking game, and you should just line up power I formation and run ISO up the middle. Don't know why we just don't have fullbacks on the team because, I don't know, maybe you can convert one of those damn extra tight ends to fullbacks since we have damn near 5 tight ends on the damn team. Oh, and then I forgot to mention about another play calling thing about Matt Nagy didn't hit. So it was a part in the goal line when, it was one of the goal lines. I think when we finally got 20 points on the board, you had Jimmy Graham, you know, as a wideout. Now tell me, why did not they have Jimmy Graham on a typical little, you know, end zone fade where Justin Fields just throws up to him and he comes down with that? But we run out of space and then you have Justin Fields throw a drag to Darnell Mooney, which essentially he runs out of room to catch the ball. Again, play calling problems here. If that's going to be your end game, I thought that was what Jimmy Graham came here to do. Be the guy that when we need him in the end zone, you just throw it up to him. But no, on that play, I see Jimmy Graham essentially running an opposite side drag of what Darnell Mooney was running. And I'm seeing Jimmy Graham run up the middle of the field. I'm like, why is he not going on the fade? What play call is that? You should automatically say this, listen, because there's speakers in the helmets. You just tell Jimmy Graham and Justin Fields, hey, we're gonna run Graham special, which is just, you know, Graham doing what he does, bodying up a receiver, posting up, and he catches an easy catch fade. Why was that not run when you were in that position? Because I guarantee you things wouldn't have been so dicey if we had scored one of those touchdowns. But no, that didn't happen. So another play calling blunder, but I thought the running backs played fine. Another thing, I kind of want to see Khalil Herbert from Virginia Tech get some carries of the load. Honestly, I'd take him more over Damian Williams because in the preseason, he was good. So what's up with that? I don't think he's clearly a special teams player. Yes, he is a special teams player, but I want some Khalil Herbert carries because I thought he was a very tough, gritty back as well. Why is Damian Williams getting that? And again, Tariq Cohen's still on IR because he can't recover from his ACL injury, and which I still question. Why the hell did we keep his ass? He's just Darren Sproles 2.0. He'll be gone eventually, I figure. He'll be back, and then we'll be seeing him getting zone action reads off of Justin Fields like it's nothing. Oh, because it's Tariq Cohen. Anyways, I'm done with that. So we talked about the play calling, the running backs, and the offensive linemen. Receivers. Now, don't ask me why we had next to no tight end involvement in this offense. I thought Kansas City's offense is more than likely predicated off great tight end play. And we had no targets to the tight ends whatsoever, other than that one target to Cole Kmet that he stupidly got a offensive PI that essentially killed that drive. That was the same drive the play before Allen Robinson dropped that pass. Cole Kmet's supposed to be a young tight end that's supposed to quote unquote have this breakout season. Why is he not getting any targets? Why, Matt Nagy? Why? Are you scheming him wide open for looks? No, you're not. Because your play calling sucks. So I think we can skip over tight ends because they absolutely did nothing in this game. Receiver-wise, I thought the receivers were fine. Could have been better, especially when Justin Fields comes into the game. Darnell Mooney misses a nice throw from him. Goodwin, although the DB was all over his freaking back, drops a pass from Justin Fields. This is back when Andy Dalton was still in the go and they were doing the whole, oh, let's flip freaking Andy Dalton and Justin Fields because I like doing that strategy. That makes sense, right, guys? Right? Darnell Mooney misses a freaking catch that should have been caught. And then obviously the travesty was Allen Robinson letting a freaking pass go right through his hands from Justin Fields. So it's like, oh, you finally get a good quarterback throwing you a great pass and you drop it. Well, okay. That's what happens when you play with Blake Bortles, Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles, Chase Daniels, Andy Dalton for the years you've been in the league. But again, I'm going to call Allen Robinson on this. I do believe Allen Robinson should get paid by the Bears. I don't know why the Bears have not paid him yet because they rather allocate more money to other places that they think are of importance. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be a receiver clamoring for money, saying you're number one receiver on the team, I expect you to make catches like that, especially catches to help out your rookie quarterback, not only gain confidence, but at that point in the game, you get off a turnover. You catch that ball, game's practically over. Game's practically over. And the Bears are probably smooth sailing. And Soldier Field lights up, and lo and behold, maybe we're talking about a different story. Not such a close game. What were your thoughts on the wide receiver play?
Well, if you take out Darnell Mooney, the receivers, not the running backs. The receivers only had 3 catches for 34 yards. So that is not good. But Darnell Mooney, I thought, other than the drop ball, I thought had a really good game. 6 receptions for 66 yards. I mean, Allen Robinson did get a touchdown, which is big. But other than Darnell Mooney, I do think the receivers need to help out the quarterbacks again. But also, again, I don't think Matt Nagy's play calling helps out the receivers.
Of course. I will say this. The Bears actually threatened and actually took shots down the field as opposed to last week when they only just didn't want to. So it was great to see that. So I guess that's a criticism that they did answer. Now, were some of those deep passes completed? I think only one or a few.
Yeah, I mean, the longest completion of the day was 21 yards. But
then that was the one. It was when Darnell Mooney came across the field and
with Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was the longest completion, which was a good ball.
And it was probably, and I think that probably would have been more if Allen Robinson just catches his pass, but it's okay. Marquise Goodwin actually did make some pretty tough catches, especially one good catch.
Well, it says here he only had 1 reception for 10 yards.
Oh, I think that was, then I think that was the one thing when Fields threw it to him out of bounds. And
it was. Yeah, that was a good catch.
So Trey Turner. Oh shit. Never mind. I guess the Raiders are being the Raiders because he got ejected for spitting on somebody.
That's good.
But going back to what I was saying, the receivers, they could have played better. Definitely, they could have helped out Justin Fields. And if Justin Fields is the starter next week, they need to pick up their slack and help him out.
And get the tight ends more involved.
I think that's more Matt Nagy scheming.
Well, this is what I was talking about in general. I think the receivers can get help by having the tight ends in and Matt Nagy by maybe trying to adapt to his players more than having his players adapt to his style.
Well, Matt Nagy is too egotistical. He's too arrogant of a guy to do that and change up his offense, like how John Harbaugh changed up his offense to cater to Lamar Jackson. And I guarantee you, if Matt Nagy had Lamar Jackson, he'd force Lamar Jackson to be a pocket passer. And that would make Lamar Jackson actually fail. That's the problem with Matt Nagy. He forces his players to confine to his system, not adjusting to his players. That goes to show you how bad of a head coach he is, how bad of an offensive coach he is. And again, like I said, he's the type of guy that doesn't hold himself accountable for trying to find ways to scheme guys open. Same ways with the bad penalties. You want to know why the Bears have a lot of penalties this game? Because they don't hold themselves accountable. There's no punishments for these players' actions. They do something like that. For example, Robert Quinn. If he did that, he did what he did, while knocking Joe Burrow out, even though it was a flop, I would have pulled Robert Quinn and been like, hey, come over here. Sit down on the bench for the next 3 to 4 or 5 plays. Or maybe sit up for the rest of the series. So you understand, you make the point, do not do stuff like that. They don't hold players accountable on this team. That's why I've been ripping at this coaching staff forever. They don't do that. They just say, whatever you go, whatever happens, happens. You just let it go and we move on to the next play. That's why you saw guys like last year, like Javon Wims and Anthony Miller punching guys last year. And you want to know why they did it? Javon Wims started it last year. And then Andy Dalton ended last season off doing that in the playoff game. You want to know why? Because they don't freaking punish these players for the actions committed. They just let whatever goes slide. Because, hey, it's okay. In Chicago, you can do whatever you want. You have freedom of choice. It's all about having fun. Well, that's only to an extent when you're hurting the team. I don't think Bill Belichick tolerates that. I don't think he would tolerate Robert Quinn hitting a quarterback out of bounds. He would pull him out and he'd be like, get out of here. False starts. If my offensive line is false starting 20,000 times, I guarantee you Bill Belichick probably pulls that offensive lineman out and freaking puts in somebody else to take his job. This team has no accountability for its actions. The same thing. Allen Robinson, you pull him over to the sideline after dropping that pass. You get on him and say, you should catch that ball. Take a seat for the next few plays until I call over for you. I don't care how angry he or his agent gets. Let these guys know this will not be tolerated. That's the sign of making a great team from a mediocre team. You will not deal with the bullshit. Now, I know penalties like that and drop passes and stuff like that happen in football. It's football. Yes, of course. But if it comes to a point where it's like, no, this needs to stop. This needs to stop. Anyways, let's end off this video talking about the QB discussion.
Andy Dalton. Real quick.
All right.
I do think discipline-wise, yes, Robert Quinn and Wims should have been disciplined, but I don't believe you should have taken it out. You don't need to take out a player for drop pass. If anything, you need to say, like, you need to get positive reinforcement. Say it's okay. Like, we'll get him next time. But if anything, you need to go back to him that play. I don't think you should have taken him out for that. That's it. That's all I need to say.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to the quarterbacks discussion so we can end this thing, because I know me and my co-hosts are varying different types of things. We had different opinions on the whole thing. Now, I thought Andy Dalton, for what he did, was fine. Fine. Okay. You gave us a nice quality stat line, touchdown. How many yards he passed for?
56.
56? Had some rushing stuff and stuff like that. Yeah, that's nice. Why didn't you move the ball down the field to get me more than 7 points? Because technically, Andy Dalton at the end of the day had 7 points. I know Justin Fields only had 6 points, but regardless, that's 7 points. You could have moved the ball more. Now, obviously, on one of the scrambles, Andy Dalton got himself hurt, despite what it is. And when I was looking on Twitter while my friend over here was trying to kill a bee, Matt Nagy, I guess, in the press conference, some reporter asked Matt Nagy, so is Justin Fields starting full time? And Matt Nagy said, I'm not going to give any word. Now, I'm just going to let you guys know. And I think all the Chicago Bears Nation is probably going to say, if Justin Fields is not starting or is not announced at the start of week 3, then we are going to riot. Anyways, Andy Dalton, listen, my thing with Andy Dalton is this. I don't hate him. I just don't like him as my starting quarterback because I asked the question time in and time again. What are the things Andy Dalton did not only last week, but even in this game that Justin Fields can't do? Okay, he showed off his arm and he threw the ball down the field and gave a nice touchdown. Justin Fields could have done that. Oh, he ran the ball and used his legs and he got hurt. That could have happened to Justin Fields too. So what's the difference? Oh, he's more experienced, Cam Free 15. I don't care. Andy Dalton does not give us the best chance to win. And for a majority of that game, we don't know how he would have played in the second half or after the one scramble after he got hurt on. But I'll tell you one thing. I don't know if we win this game. And even I'll say that with Justin Fields. I don't know if we had won that game if not for Justin Fields picking up that clutch first down like we needed him to do. But listen, I don't hate Andy Dalton. I just don't think Andy Dalton's, good for this team. I don't think he's good for this offensive line. He's just a safe buffer because Matt Nagy's too damn afraid to go put in his young rookie quarterback because he knows the moment the young rookie goes in there, his clock has started ticking. And if Justin Fields puts up the same numbers of a pathetic offense like any other past quarterback in Matt Nagy's tenure, well, guess what? They're going to look at the management's going to look at him and be like, nothing's changed. It's the same old offense. So what is this offensive genius you said? And guess what? Same old offense fails to change, even with Justin Fields in there. Now, Justin Fields, although he played better than what the play calls were there, which I figured that was going to happen, I still see same old Chicago Bears offense. Can't score in the red zone, and we only kick field goals in the red zone. That's not going to win you games. Not against the Browns next week, I'll tell you that. Against the Browns in Cleveland, you got to have to score touchdowns. And that better clean up next week. What are your thoughts and your assessments on Andy Dalton?
I thought Andy Dalton played a great game. 9-11, 56 yards is not good for 9 completions, but I do think that 9 for 11 is very good for a touchdown and did not turn the ball over. He also had 2 carries for 25 yards. I've said this to you before, and I'll say it again. I've never once said that Andy Dalton gives the Bears the best chance to win. But what I do think is he gives them the best chance to not lose and to not crush Justin Fields' confidence or to literally crush him, because there was a play where if the Bears did not commit a full start penalty, the right tackle, I think it was, I believe, then the Bengals, I believe, corner was going to crush Justin Fields. And I don't know if that's Justin Fields' call on a protection or if the Bengals just called a good play.
No, he called it in that thing. Justin Fields saw that was happening and he called the protection over to that side. The problem with that is he caused that one false start on his own because he was trying to snap the ball.
Well, I don't know. That guy was getting free, so I don't know who was supposed to be there, but that guy was going to have a free rush at Justin Fields.
That was probably the running backs who were supposed to pick him up, so I guess it was Montgomery's pickup.
That's all I'm saying. And listen, like I said, I'm not saying that Andy Dalton's a better quarterback than Justin Fields. I just think that for right now, I don't see there's obviously a reason, and might be a practice where Justin Fields isn't starting. And I'm going to roll with the coach, and I'm not a big Nagy fan, but I'm going to roll with Nagy, and I'm going to say I still believe that if Andy Dalton is healthy, he should start next week. But Andy Dalton did say he felt like he was good to go in the second half, so I don't know if that just means that they're going to just say, you know what, we're rolling Fields now, but Andy Dalton did believe he was good to go in the second half.
Yeah, Andy, it's my time. Dalton's time is up. Goodbye and good riddance. I don't want to see you on the field again unless Justin Fields gets hurt. By God, that doesn't happen.
Which he probably will, because I do not believe he's ready for the NFL yet. But
anyways, Justin Fields, I thought he played a decent game. Yes, we see the mistakes. 2 false starts because he was trying to snap the ball. I mostly call that on the center, but whatever. Obviously, he had that fumble for only holding on the ball one hand. And like I said, when he picked up the first the one first down to help end the game or get in closer to ending the game. When he was stepping up into the pocket, he held on the ball with two hands. Learn that. Good. Like he should be learning. Had again, the fumble. At least he recovered his own fumble. At least he did that, though. He did recover his own fumble. And then obviously the pick. Now, I also saw this on social media. The Bengals were playing a cover 0, which essentially is man across the board. Linebackers blitzing, everything. But then the linebacker just kind of peeled out and I guess did his own thing, and Justin Fields just didn't see it. Again, I kind of say that was good defensive play by the Bengals linebacker / it's just Fields not seeing him at the right time. I don't think nobody would have seen that. So I can't really blame Fields on the pick, but at the same time, at that point in the game, it was a bad pick. But hey, he learned, listen, let me just wait on the play to develop, and I can throw the ball. But even though, stat line wise, it didn't look too impressive, I thought the throws Justin Fields made were really great throws. Just really great throws. He had a dime of a pass twice. One where Mooney dropped it, and another one where Mooney caught it, which was, I think it was like legit the same exact play. Just Mooney running across the middle of the field. Again, another beautiful thrown pass to him to Allen Robinson drops. And listen, this is what I said was going to be seen with the Bears. And even in the final drive after the pick, it's 3rd and long. He manages to use his legs to pick up the first down. And actually, he even gets out of a sack. He almost got sacked there. And if he had gotten sacked, that would have been, we're in bad territory. Now, I do believe if Andy Dalton's at that point in the game, guess what? Andy Dalton's getting sacked because he can't move for shit. Although, he had 25 rushing yards. Justin Fields is more fast, more elusive than Andy Dalton ever could be. So he managed to pick up the clutch first down. And it'd be a travesty if Justin Fields is not starting. I know it's against a hostile territory in Cleveland, but at this point, you let him go. You don't go back to the other guy. Everybody in that damn stadium, everybody on the sideline, everybody in the media are going to see Justin Fields makes his team better. And what I saw, even though it wasn't good, even though it wasn't the best for a half, I saw the throws he can make. I see what he can do. I can see how he can use his legs. Now the question is, will Matt Nagy, if Fields is starting, play called to Justin Fields' strength? Because the last time Matt Nagy had a mobile quarterback, that was Trubisky. Now I know on this channel I'm not a Trubisky fan, but my God, I'm not going to deny that Matt Nagy did not put Mitchell Trubisky in the best position to win. He tried to turn Mitchell Trubisky into a pocket passer, which Mitchell Trubisky is not. So, I thought Justin Fields did fine for what it was most part. Listen, it's just something where he can use this as a learning experience and grow. And that's how I'm going to take it. Because the growing pains are going to happen. And I always knew the growing pains are going to happen. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I just want him in the game because I feel like the best way for him to learn is not sitting on the sideline reading books and looking at what Andy Dalton's doing. The best way to learn how to play in the NFL is you get your ass in there and you play in the games. That's just my opinion, not mine. Listen, I've always said this. I've always said this. I'd rather have Justin Fields playing, so we use that one year on his contract because I think he signed a 4-year deal. I don't want him sitting an entire season. We waste that 1 year, and guess what? Then eventually when it comes to the time when he's a superstar, if he's a superstar and we have to pay him big time money, you look back at that frost year and you'll be like, we probably should have started him because we wasted a year on that rookie deal. And hey, some people say that about the Chiefs. Maybe Patrick Mahomes should have started in his rookie season since he was that good. Who knows? Your thoughts? Did you already give your thoughts on Fields?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought, like I said, I just don't think he's ready yet, and I think they see something in practice that we don't see. So I think when he's ready to play, they're going to play him. That's all I have to say about him. He's a great player, great athlete, great competitor, great football player. I think he'll have a great future in the NFL. But I am about rookie quarterbacks, and I think about how they should sit and learn for a little bit.
It is what it is.
That's all I have to say. all I'm saying on him.
All I know is as we end this video off, if Matt Nagy announces Andy Dalton's the starter going to week 3, then I'm just going to tell you this. Chicago media, which I'll be listening to, is going to be up in fucking arms. And the next time they go to Soldier Field, which now makes sense why they're going on the road, is because Notre Dame and Wisconsin are actually playing next Saturday at Soldier Field. So it makes sense. They can't have a game at Soldier Field and stuff like that after a college football game. Because we know that freaking grass is terrible at Soldier Field, and I'm praying that they can actually relocate to Arlington, Heights, and actually build a new state-of-the-art facility stadium. Good God. Hopefully we get a new stadium coming soon. We don't have to play at Soldier Field no more. I don't care about tradition. Let's get ourselves a new stadium for once. That actually looks fucking good. I know it might be a dome stadium, but maybe make it a retractable roof stadium. I'd like that. So hopefully the Bears get a new stadium, because I would like that for the city of Chicago. I would. Because I think Soldier Field's run its course. You saw the images on the freaking broadcast when you watched the game and how old that damn stadium is? Holy shit. You can still see the old pillars in the front of Soldier Field. Mm-hmm. Just move on. But the damn McCaskies think, it would hurt. It wouldn't be the Chicago Bears if we didn't play in Soldier Field. Sometimes you need to move on. And sometimes it's time to get out. Only historic stadiums like Wrigley and Fenway should never be torn down, and those teams should never move unless those venues are actually not up to date anymore.
Even the Yankees moved out of the house Ruth built.
So, yeah, but the Bears had a week 1 win. Again, as a Bears fan, I'll take any win I can get. I'll say this. And made my blood quell a little bit more after UCLA's tragic loss. I still can't believe we can't, get no pressure on a fucking injured quarterback.
I can't wait to talk about that in our college football video.
Yeah, I look forward to that. I believe we were doing
Tuesday night, usually Wednesday, you said.
We recorded videos Wednesday, I believe. Or no, Tuesday. We recorded a video Tuesday, and it's gonna go up on the channel Wednesday. So look forward to that. So I'll take the win. It makes me happy, but it doesn't make me happy at the same time, because now we go to Cleveland, and I'm hoping we don't get our shit rocked in like we did in LA. And hopefully for my sanity, Justin Fields is starting week 3. But I'll be back next Sunday. I don't know with you, Matt, if he's gonna be back. That's just something I asked him on the fly. So. Yeah,
I'll probably be back. I'll probably have the game up because the Patriots play the Saints at 1:00, and you guys play 1:00. So I'll probably just have your game on my laptop again. I usually have a few games going on.
Okay. So I guess we'll be back.
I'm starting my own Patriot channel too, so I might be doing that too. But I can also record that after we do this recording. So. Yeah.
So I guess if you want to see my buddy's content, if he makes his own YouTube channel at some point, there you go. So other than that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the Chicago Bears win. Are there some things that they need to work on? Some things that still irk you? And also, should Justin Fields be the starter in week 3? Hit that subscribe button to get more Chicago Bears content as the weeks progress. As well as, I guess, college football project content with me and my co-host Matt. Again, videos go up Wednesdays. So yeah, but other than that, I'm gonna go do my homework, and just hopefully just enjoy the rest of my day. Other than that, I'm gonna go out. We're gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there. Until then, guys, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.